Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rebel.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog. You with us or not? We can get it on when it's on. It don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy. You on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop ball. I die for, I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they'll drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop head. Say he cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did to Billy go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they say about that ribbon like Perry Poops. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbilly move. He made my feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze on Run West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet. That's my enemy. A little nigga, this that cult need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup. I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. On your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the build, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the bitch. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. You PK bad man, I pen to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man shit. Got the rate, the power, I been a showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard by. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that one west up, then I swerve out. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's one West practical, gladiator, maximal. Creep on them slow, but that Glock fire rapido. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no cow, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. On your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out.
What time it is? I see something in the morning, goddamn, bro. Shit, what? You talking about your plan? I don't know. Who all over? Alright, cool. No sweat. I'm gonna bring my homies on. You already know that. Alright.
Give me more, nigga.
She's a lustful situation. She's a lustful situation. All these women in the house and they drinking. But if you ain't fucking love, shawty, you ain't taking. She's a lustful situation. She's a lustful situation. All these women in the house and they drinking. But if you ain't fucking love, shawty, you ain't taking. Like damn. Like I try to say like, it's hard on a nigga, man. You already know how, cause goddamn. You gotta watch yourself. That's all I can say. Call me Sartucci, my life a movie. Looking like Juve with all these Jews and bitches be choosing. Know they be drooling, all of my dudes, and yeah, we be ruling. Drinks on the table, everything able. No TV, cause we out on cable. Everything fooling, everything coolin'. And this bitch looking like food to me. Hold on, don't mix it up. Ain't no one faking, ain't no one spazzing. She can't be basic with her damn ass. And she like to try that, she from the nation. It's going down like we in the basement. She sippin' tropic cause she be chasing. She like the style, she like my flavors, nigga. I got clips, motherfucker, 100 shots on me, nigga, like a movie. Nigga hating on the nigga, backwards ass nigga, love damn losing. I been trying to count shawty ain't wanna listen, found out she was stupid. Money on my mind and in my jeans all the time like a groupie. I been walking with the shield, nigga, thinking shit's goof ass nigga. I never knew a lie sound so good to a goof ass nigga. But I ain't got a lie, tell the truth, nigga, even when I damn lie. Had to dumb it down on these fuck nigga, cause the boy CSI. Goof ass nigga. I don't know what the fuck wrong with all these motherfuckers out here. Hey, bro, we having a good ass time. No, fuck that. Nah, keep that shit UPK. She's a lustful situation. She's a lustful situation. All these women in the house and they drink. If you ain't fucking love, shawty, you ain't take. She's a lustful situation. She's a lustful situation. All these women in the house and they drink. But you ain't fucking little shawty, you ain't taking. Like damn.
What the fuck it is? Shot 2G, bitch.
Now what a nigga mean by that? If you ain't fucking, you ain't taking. If you ain't fucking, you ain't got nobody, you ain't got no head.
Ain't got no nigga.
So, I know a lot of motherfuckers don't wanna understand sex and marriage out here. But according to the Lord, you give them that box. You give them something precious to you, something that's close to you yourself. Oh, you take it. So, I ain't gonna answer me none of these motherfuckers out here, man. You feel me? No. But don't you fucking try me. Don't ever fucking try me, man. I'm telling you, man, I'm a cool ass nigga at heart, but hey. I never fucked no one who had it coming, and you still tryna play me. The last will be first and the first will be last, and they still won't fade me. It'll lean on me. Lean on me. Baby, lean on me. You lean on me like she a pipe. Baby girl lean on me all through the night. Baby girl lean on me, she like little life. Baby girl lean on me like my damn gun doing, yeah. Yeah, hey. They cracker looking for us. They say they plotting on shot. I promise we all alert. That's for my whole team and my squad. When I go around, keep their air. Bitch, I might put the bomb in the car. They looking, trying to find a flow. Push the ball, I told the world is ours. They cracker be looking, they cracker be talking. It's always a comment to us. It's always online, cause we in the street, so we see them walking and such. Yeah, we the old preaching, they know it. I strap up the team, they know it. Pussy, you shrinking, we growing. I never fought no one who had it coming, and you still tryna play me. The first will be last and the last will be first, but that money won't faze me. I gave you a little the sauce and the swag. My trust is so crazy. This what my soldiers grinding out them trenches. Don't let these motherfuckers phase it. Just lean on me. Hey, lean on me. Just lean on me. I promise I got you. Just lean on me. Tell me about the damn shit. Tell me how police searching for a switch. Tell me about the damn war. Tell me try to blame you and then you know. Tell me about the damn flicks. Tell me how police try to make a rinse. This shit crazy out here, man. I'm trying to tell you, I promise I ain't lying. Nigga know what it did. Nigga know what it does. No counterfeit. Nigga wanna hate the frustration. Nigga, they tired, they wasted.
These laws can deliver us, man. Right. They can bring us back to our nation, man, to our identity, to our strength. And they for sure brought us back to our brotherhood. Right. Because your king wasn't no bitch. That's right. Your king wasn't no punk. Your king, when the battle started, your king stepped in the battle first. He said, I'm gonna take the first step. Right. I'm gonna let y'all go on and handle it from there. He said, you gonna do more than me. Y'all think you're on your honor crazy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna fly. That's right.
Heaven is where is the place that blacks and Hispanics finally get to rule. Finally get to be in charge. Finally get to be rich and watch our oppressors suffer for what they've done. That's why we gave up murdering people. That's why we gave up selling drugs. That's why we gave up being evil and wicked to one another, because we knew the reward that we had to come.
I never fucked on one who had it coming, and you still tryna play me. The last to be first and the first to be last, and they still won't fade me. They lean on me, lean on me.
Okay.
Zacco shit. UGK nigga shoot solid. I don't even wanna talk if you can't keep some shit I told you deep. Fuck you talking about, but you a hoe with all that gossiping. Put that on my mom, you broke the code, boy, I know you switching like a faggot that hoe, boy, you pure pussy. They say what's wrong with me. Sick and tired of these fuck boy with low more than energy. Can't talk positive, keep that shit far away from G. Cause this shit every day, but make a change or I put it. All up on my shit, like a bitch that say she used to know me. I can't remember shit. All this logic got me far from dummies. Ice up on my wrist, like I'm shooting hoops and spraying it slowly. These bitches really ain't shit. Even the Bible let you know she hoeing. Fuck you got to say, talking to niggas pulling bond and ports. Seeking validation, can use a basic bitch called her Jehovah. All these niggas gay, yeah, all these niggas know I know it. Lame nigga no way, boy, your spot is mine, let get reported. I walk in that bitch in the climate. I walk in that bitch and I'm shining. I walk in that call me your highness. I'm a real nigga hit with the hymen. You run, I get hit with the Heisman. Nigga acting like hoes for enlightenment. Bitch ass rust ass. I don't even wanna talk if you can't keep some shit I told you deep. Fuck you talking about, but you a hoe with all that gossiping. Put that on my mom, you broke the code, boy, I know you switching like a faggot that hoe, boy, you pure pussy. They say what's wrong with me. Sick and tired of these fuck boy with low more than energy. Can't talk positive, keep that shit far away from G. Cause this shit every day, but make a change or I cut it deep. Listen to the G, got these diamonds down like James Brown. Let's see where I be, I see you talking to her from out of town. Stick up by the bean, now that shit ain't need for fashion food. Up attack to cut your head off and watch it rotten too. AR-223, one hit wonder, bitch, I know I'm striking. Shout out Cub Key, no it's 2G like lightning. These niggas around the hood, no understood that I'm far from normal. UPK the shield, let you know that I don't fuck with muscles. Bitch, you talking about what, but look at me. You talking about what, boy, I'm about it. You talking about what coming at me. All these fuck nigga boss, I ain't thinking. All these fuck nigga bosses just shrinking. And lame ass lives, fuck ass nigga, weak ass baby ass gangsta. I don't even wanna talk if you can't keep some shit I told you deep. Fuck you talking about, but you a hoe with all that gossiping. Put that on my mom, you broke the code, boy, I know you switching like a faggot that hoe, boy, you pure pussy. They say what's wrong with me. Sick and tired of these fuck boy with low more than energy. Can't talk positive, keep that shit far away from G. Cause this shit every day, but make a change or I cut it deep.
You a lame ass hoe ass bitch, boy. You know that shit deep inside you, lame ass dirt ass nigga. Take a bath. Dirt ass mouth, nigga.
What? We live. All right, Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham. To the sister, Shalom. Yahweh Shemartha Hashem Yahushua. I'm priest and officer of Bon Karat with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge underneath Commanding General Yohanan. We are not affiliated or associated with any other Israelite group. Tonight is Wednesday. You know, Wednesday night it's a biblical law class tonight. We're going to go over some of the laws that was established in the nation of Israel. But one of the main things we're going to go in is some of the history of us being in the land of Egypt, our captivity in the land of Egypt. You know, right now we have a nation of people that are pretending to be us, and claiming that they were the people that was in slavery inside of Egypt. But the world doesn't want anybody to know that the true slaves that were inside of Egypt were blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and they had the historical facts. You know, Russia came out showing the images of the Black Christ, the Black prophets, the black and brown prophets that pictures that they had, that Russia has, that the Vatican has also. You know, the Vatican has, I think they said about, I might be wrong, if I think it's like 33 miles worth of historical facts down there at the bottom of the Vatican. Mm-hmm. You can only imagine what the Vatican has down there. The Vatican knows who we are. They know black and brown people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Right. They know that we were the people that were in captivity in the land of Egypt. You know, we also want to give brothers and sisters a hand who made it out there to the Passover, to the one true Passover, the Lord's Passover, the 55th annual Passover, man, hosted by Commander General Yohanan, man. And it was truly amazing to see the Lord's chosen people out there, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in their glorious garments, our sisters looking glorious, those children looking glorious, man. It was beautiful to see. You know, if you ain't show up, man, hey, you got to ask yourself a question if you really love the Lord, man. Right. You know, that's the Lord's day. The Lord wants us to keep the Passover so we can remember what it was like for our ancient ancestors in the land of Egypt. You know, when they were coming out of captivity and the feast days that they kept, the things that they did, like the Passover. You know what I'm saying? And right now we're back in captivity just like our ancient ancestors, and we're keeping the Passover. Right. You know, we're in slavery right now. I know a lot of brothers and sisters don't like to think that we are in slavery, but we are in slavery. Right. We might not be physically in chains, but mentally we are still slaves. We are still slaves. And we're going to go into the Bible to show you how our people were living in the land of Egypt and how we live the same lifestyle now. We live the same way that our people lived in Egypt, you know, right now in America. And we got a couple of historical books that we're going to pull and reference to show you that these people know who we are, man. These people have been knew who we are. And it's the reason why we are in captivity. It's because they know who we are as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. All right, we're going to start at the book of Exodus, chapter 1.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob.
Right. So now this is the list of the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we're showing you right now like how the children of Israel got into the land of Egypt. We got into the land of Egypt by Joseph, right. Not Yahushua father Joseph, but the Joseph that we're talking about. He's the forefather of Manasseh and Ephraim. You know, he's also one of the children of Jacob. You know what I'm saying? He had two sons, and Jacob adopted his sons in, and they made two tribes. Right. So you had you had Joseph, who was a man by himself, but he had two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And when you read into the Bible, you see how our forefather Jacob adopted these two sons in to make the 12 tribes of Israel. He told his son Joseph to put his hand. I think he grabbed one of the boys' hands. It was something like that. I can reference him, but I know he grabbed one of the boys' hands or something like that. And then it was when Joseph tried to switch it back, he tried to switch Manasseh's hand with Ephraim's hand because Manasseh was the oldest. So when he tried to switch his hand back, Israel told him, he said, I know what I'm doing. Ephraim would be the oldest. You know, he's going to be the oldest. So he switched it back. Right. And so he adopted them two young men then, and that's how we came up with Ephraim and Manasseh. But this is how we ended up in the land of Egypt because of Joseph. He got put into slavery in the land of Egypt back in the time, and he also had broke down the Pharaoh's dream. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me see, can I get that scripture, man? Matter of fact, we're going to get that scripture. I think that's the book of Genesis chapter 40, verse 41. Yeah, I think it's Genesis chapter 40, verse 41.
Oh, I got it.
Matter of fact, you can start at 15 if you want. Yeah, 41 and 15.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 15. And thou shalt anoint them, as thou didst anoint the father, their father.
So like, is that 41 and 15?
He said, oh, it's like Genesis 40.
Okay.
It's like. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 15. For indeed, I was stolen away out of the land of Hebrews. And here also have I done nothing it's like, I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Verse 16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream. And behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. Verse 17. And in the uppermost basket, there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh. And the bird did eat them out of the basket upon my head. Verse 18. Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Verse 19. Yet with wind 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from thee. And verse 20, and it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday.
It's what?
Which was Pharaoh's birthday.
Yeah, this is more proof showing you, like, this is why the law of Israel told us not to do anything or any likens after the Egyptians. Like, you celebrate your birthday like a big baby. Do you see some of these sisters and brothers out here? Every time their birthday comes, it's my birthday, like a big child. Right. Like, that should be a red flag for brothers. Whenever you see a sister, or even you see a sister out here preparing herself for her birthday, just know that you're dealing with a giant child, a big chap. A big baby. Oh, it's my birthday. She got the cake. Like, I thought children celebrate their birthdays. Right. Like, when are we gonna grow up? And that's what Pharaoh was a big baby, an evil one at that. So, like, you can go ahead up.
And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants.
He did what?
He made a feast unto all his servants.
Oh yeah, when y'all go out there and have your little dinner with all your friends, I see you out there. We see you eating your lobster, your crab, eating your filth. What they call them things? A filth boil, a crab boil. That is a filth boil. Like, you got all type of trash. Even the water look nasty. It turns a greenish, brownish color. Oh my God! And you just be sopping that corn up like it is a delicate thing. Like, good night. You might as well go get you some juice out of one of these green trash cans and cook you all the roaches that you can see. Saute them things up, hit it with the garlic butter and Old Bay, and enjoy yourself. Have a good one. God, so you go ahead up.
And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Verse 21. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Verse 22. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them.
Right. Joseph interpreted this dream, man. Right. He interpreted and he showed the baker that you was going to get hung. And just like what he said, it happened. Just like what we do inside of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We tell you, man, we tell you what's going to happen before it happens. You know what I'm saying? This is just more verification that we are the priest and prophet the Lord has put back in place. You can go ahead out.
Verse 23. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
So he didn't even remember Joseph after this. After Joseph told him what was going to happen, he acted as if he forgot what's going to happen.
Is it on that, sir?
Okay, Con, that was it on that?
Okay.
Con. That was already 36.
They started at 20 and 23. But did I read the wrong? That was Genesis chapter.
Yeah, 41. Genesis 41.
Oh, it's like, okay. Genesis chapter 41. Well, I stopped it in verse 23. Oh, Genesis 41, sir?
Yeah, Con.
Oh, I've been reading.
That's still good that you read that. That's 40, I think.
Reading the wrong thing. All right. Genesis chapter 41, verse 15. Right? I started at 15. I was supposed to start at 15. I think I was at Genesis. Let me see. I read the wrong thing.
Nah, it's the wild. That's good that you read
I
that.
was at Genesis 40.
Yeah, Con.
Like, okay. So I was at Genesis chapter 41, verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it.
Right. So Pharaoh heard from I think it was the baker was it the baker? Whatever, the guy that didn't get himself killed, who forgot about Joseph, but he remembered Joseph could interpret dreams. And so he remembered Joseph could interpret dreams, and he told Pharaoh about Joseph. And now Pharaoh was having a dream that he could not understand. You know what I'm saying? So he went to a Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? At this time, we weren't called Israelites, but we were called Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Even though Jacob was one of the 12 tribes, he was one of the sons, not Jacob, but even though Joseph was one of the sons of Jacob, at this time, we didn't develop the name the children of Israel yet.
Right.
So Joseph was able to interpret dreams. He wasn't like the lady who charges you $5 to look at your palm. You know, she $45, I can read your palm. And this woman don't even know what the hell is about to happen to her next day. She got a GoFundMe asking somebody to pay her light bill. How you couldn't predict your lights getting turned off, sis? Nah, you can predict my future, but you can't predict when they gonna come tow your car. I don't know why they towed my car. Well, did you predict that you weren't gonna be able to pay that bill, Mrs. I can prophesize everything. You can go ahead up.
Verse 16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Verse 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the the bank of the river. Verse 18. And behold, there come up out of the river seven kin, flat flesh and well favored, and they fed in a meadow. Verse 19, and behold, 7 other kin came upon them, came up after them, poor and very ill favored, and leavened, and then flesh such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt of badness. Verse 20, and the lame and the ill-favored kin did eat up the first 7 fat kin. Verse 21, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they have been eating them, but they were still favored as at the beginning. So I awoke.
So Pharaoh had a dream about these 7 animals, and he said that there were some animals that were large, but then he had these other animals who were ill, who were lean, meaning they were not healthy, they were skinny.
Right.
And so those animals ate the animals that were in good condition, but even after they ate them, they still didn't recover from being ill.
Right.
So Pharaoh is trying to find out, what does this mean? What does these 7 animals mean in my dream? You can go ahead.
Verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. Verse 23. And behold, 7 ears with word, then and blasted with slack. Then and blasted with east wind, sprung up after them. Verse 24. And then ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians.
He told this unto who?
And I told this unto the magicians. But there was none that could declare it to me.
So look, the magicians were back then also.
Right.
But they don't know what the hell they doing. You got magicians today who do all types. They really in the land of Ham. You go down there to the land of Ham, they down there cutting the albino feet off. You are a albino child in Africa right now. You are not safe. They're going to cut your foot off and boil it in a stew, and this is going to give you mystical powers. You're going to levitate. I can only imagine how they were down there doing when that eclipse happened. Good night. I want to look up some stories on what they was doing to them albinos on the eclipse. They probably scammed the albino down there. Ain't no telling what they flanked the albino down there. Flank is when they rip your skin off while you alive. They probably did that, deep fried it, hit it with some fufu and salt and pepper. You gotta be careful down there. You can go ahead out.
Verse 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. Verse 26. The 7 good kin are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one.
So the dreams that Pharaoh had, they were all one, and they were all talking about 7 years. The 7 animals the 7 kind that he's seen in there, those were 7 animals. Thanks, like phone. And my phone messed up. So like you can go ahead up.
Verse 27. And the seven thin and ill-favored kin that came unto them in 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind, shall be 7 years of famine. Verse 28. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, that God is about to do. He showeth unto Pharaoh. Verse 29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 30. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt.
So this was going to be 14 years combined together. 7 years where the land was going to flourish, and another 7 years where the land was going to go through famine. And so this is more proof showing you, man, like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these heathens are having visions on what's to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord showed Pharaoh what was going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these political people or some of these religious heathens who know about us and who we are not having dreams and visions on what's going to come. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know for sure. This isn't a fact, but I'm just wondering. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if they are. It's not like they're going to tell anybody, but I wouldn't be surprised. Right. You can go ahead.
And the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty. Oh, verse 31. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of famine following, for it shall be very grievous. Verse 32. And for the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, and it is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Verse 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out of man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Verse 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Verse 36. And the land shall be for store to the land against 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. Verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, in the eyes of all his servants. Verse 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is? Verse 39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, forasmuch a God have showed thee all this, there is none so discreet as and wise as thou art.
Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man. Look, even Pharaoh had to acknowledge the fact that Joseph was a wise man, that our God, that our power, that our Lord was the one true God. Whatever they were worshiping back then, Pharaoh had to acknowledge the fact that those guys didn't mean anything.
Right.
Those magicians, you better believe those magicians were no different than your Kemetic scholars today with the little eye rings or whatever that stuff is, the mascara, all that homosexual behavior, the bald head with the one ponytail, weird as I don't know what. Bald head with a ponytail for a man is crazy. I ain't gonna say his name, I ain't gonna give him that. But we see you, sister. Brother, we see you out there. You know what I'm saying? We see you out there. But even Pharaoh had to acknowledge the fact that Joseph was a wise man and that our God, our one true power, was the one true living God. He had to acknowledge that. That was it on that up?
So there's more on that.
Okay, can you go ahead?
Verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house.
There should be what?
Thou shalt be over my house. And according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will be greater than thou. Verse 41. Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. Verse 42. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vesture of fine linen, and put a gold chain upon his neck. Verse 43. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow thee knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. Verse 44. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and thou without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Verse 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephaniah, Panah. That's how he said this.
Nah, it's too about.
And he gave him to wife Asnath, the daughter of Ptah Pharaoh, priest of On. And Joseph went on over all the land of Egypt. Verse 46. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from presence of Pharaoh. Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went without all the land of Egypt.
Right.
Verse 46.
So Joseph pretty much became vice president in the land of Egypt.
Right.
Like Pharaoh had to give Joseph his daughters to marry. So yes, he gave Joseph daughters to marry out of the land of Egypt. He gave Joseph his ring to signify that this is the second man in charge. And you also notice that Joseph was the one who told Pharaoh to appoint officers over certain fields and certain things inside of the land of Israel. It's no different than America. You know, that whole establishment in Egypt came from our forefathers, man.
Right.
Came from Joseph. Joseph established and helped establish this land in Egypt from our God, from the one true living power. He allowed Joseph to interpret this dream from Pharaoh, and he saved Egypt. You know, but you have historians now who try to deny this fact that this wasn't true, this wasn't real. But of course they have to say these things, because if the truth comes out, the world will find out that those people that were in the land of Egypt, those great people who did those great things, are Black, Latinos, and Native Indians. You know, you got to understand, Joseph is the forefather of the so-called Puerto Ricans and Cubans. You know, this would be a so-called Puerto Rican man doing this in the land of Egypt. Like our Puerto Rican brothers who are from the tribe of Ephraim and our Manassite brothers from the tribe of Cuban, you do not know how important and how powerful your people are, man.
Right.
Like y'all are important and powerful people, man. Like this is the work that your forefather did. This is the work that he did. He helped establish Egypt, a Puerto Rican man. They don't want to let people know about this. They don't want to let our people know how great we were, because this would put a shame to these so-called heathens out here, man. You can go ahead, Up.
Verse 47. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handful. Verse 48. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was around about every city, laid he up in the same. Verse 49. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he lifted numbering, for it was without number. Verse 50. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Patai, Pharaoh, priest of On, bare unto him. It's like verse 51. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, he have made me forgot all my toil and all my father's house. Verse 52. And the name of the second called Ephraim, for God caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Right.
Verse 53. And the 7 years of plenteousness, this was in the land of Egypt, where ended. Verse 54. And the 7 years of Dirith began to come, according to Joseph had side. And the Dirith was in the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
Right, and the word Dirith, it just means a lack of something. Like, you know what I'm saying? The land was lacking something, and that was the food and the wheat and the grain. That land of Egypt was lacking that. Right. And Egypt was a superpower in that time. Egypt was no different than how America is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like New York City it was a big place, and it would have been the center of the earth at that time. You know what I'm saying? Especially with there not being nothing but famine around in that land, Egypt would have been just like America. You can go ahead.
Verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph.
Go unto who?
Go unto Joseph. What he saith to you, do. Verse 56. And the famine was over all the face of the earth.
It was what?
And the famine was over all the face of the earth.
Right. Just like the flood was something that was bad, this famine was bad.
Right.
The whole earth was in the famine. The whole entire earth, there was a famine. So you think about the whole earth not having food, and the only person that has food is the land of Egypt. Where is everybody on the earth going to come to? Where's everybody going to come to? They're going to come to Egypt.
Right.
This is how Egypt became a superpower in the earth. This was by design by the Lord, man. You got to realize that too. This was all by design by the Lord. just like the Lord says in the book of Romans chapter 9, he said, having the potter have control of what the potter desires. Like, I'm just paraphrasing. Like, if you're a potter and you want to make something out of the clay, aren't you the one that has the power and control to make it? Right. You can make a beautiful pot, or you can make something to go take a dump in. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're the potter. You're the one that has the control of it, and the Lord had control over this. And so the Lord allowed Joseph to interpret this dream for Pharaoh when people don't even understand. Like the scripture says, even for this purpose, I raised up Pharaoh. You know, the Lord allowed this all to happen for a reason. Oh, that was it on that up?
It's a little more.
Okay, come.
2 more verses. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. Verse 57. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because the famine was so sore in all the land. All the countries came to Egypt to Joseph to get grain, to get corn from him. Right. Now we can go back to Genesis chapter 1. We're just trying to give you an insight of what's happening on how we ended up in the land of Egypt. You know, Joseph ended up in the land of Egypt because he got sold into slavery by his brothers. But Joseph was able to interpret a dream from Pharaoh. And he interpreted his dream for Pharaoh, showing him about the famine that was going to happen in the land. You know, Pharaoh realized how powerful our God was and how much of a man of God Joseph was. So he made him vice president. Pretty much that's what it's just a paraphrasing what Joseph would have been like in the land of Egypt during this time. He would have been like a vice president. So Joseph was the one who was able to, you know, do all of these things in the land of Egypt because Pharaoh gave him that power, but all that power came from the Lord. So Joseph did all of these things. You know what I'm saying? So this is how this happened. You can go ahead up. All right. Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Verse 2. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Verse 3. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Verse 4. Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. Verse 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. Verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren in all that generation. Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them.
So the land of Egypt, after everything happened with the famine and everything, you know, even with that, we can break that down also to show you that the only reason our people ended up in the land of Egypt was because of the famine. When the famine happened, you know, everybody in all the countries had to come to Egypt to buy corn. Right. So Joseph's brothers who sold him into slavery, they thought Joseph was dead, but Joseph was alive. He pretty much had gained a high position in the land of Egypt. So his brothers had to come to Egypt to get corn because their father Jacob sent them to Egypt to get the corn. So when they got sent to the land of Egypt to get corn, they didn't recognize Joseph because Joseph was living like an Egyptian. He even shaved all his facial hair off, so they didn't recognize him after all of these years of him being in the land of Egypt because he wore Egyptian attire. He dressed like an Egyptian. He even probably began to speak that language down there. Yeah. So while he was down there, they didn't recognize who he was, but he realized who his brothers were. And so he started dealing with them in secret. Like he was doing things like he took their brother Benjamin because he put something inside of their horses and said that they must be stealing. It was like he was just playing around with them. Like, hey, it was something in y'all sacks when y'all leaving. How did y'all get this? And they was like, we don't know. So he said, I'm going to keep your brother Joseph until y'all go and y'all come back. So, you know, they all in confusion thinking that their brother Benjamin is going to get killed because the Pharaoh, you know, one of the high ranking men of Pharaoh don't tuck their brother. They confused. They going through all of this. But eventually Joseph ended up revealing who he was to his brothers. They reunited. They brought their father Jacob into the land of Egypt, children of Egypt lived in the children of Israel lived in the land of Egypt, and then we began to wax poor after we began to wax great. We began to grow.
Right.
We end up growing in the land of Egypt. And this was after the time of all of the children of the high-ranking, not the high-ranking men, but the forefathers of the land of children of Israel had died off. Like you had Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon. You had all the top people of our, forefathers. They died off. So now the children of Israel are in the land of Egypt, and they're beginning to flourish, just like how we do in America. Now our people are beginning to flourish at a phenomenal rate. And this is starting to become a problem with the Egyptians because, we are smart people. You got to think about how popular our culture is even today. Like people don't want to be like us, but they want to be like us. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you allow us just to go on about our lives and do great things, we will take over your land. We will outshine you. It's no different during the time when we came out of slavery and we was able to establish our black cities. What did these people have to do to destroy our black cities? They had to burn them and set them on fire so we couldn't be great. And that still happens today because it was a sister out of North Carolina who had a bookstore and she was getting death threats for having a bookstore because they know that it is a great threat to allow us to flourish in this land. They know that we could climb over top of these people easily. You leave us alone for 50 years right now. And we get off drugs. We allow the ISUPK underneath Commander General Yohana to flourish. Listen, man, we'll be off drugs.
Right.
But they can't have you off drugs. They got to have you on drugs. So like, I'm going to read a little article that I got off. So let me see, can I pull this article up? All right, this is from Artaza. It says, after 2 years of famine, this is just going into what happened also. It said after 2 years of famine, Jacob traveled with his family to Egypt to join Joseph since they were his family. After living in Egypt for 430 years, Pharaoh started getting worried that the 3 million Israelites might attempt to overthrow Egypt. The Pharaoh started the process of gradually enslaving the Israelites to break their spirits to suppress their numbers. So this is what Pharaoh did to us, in the scriptures provide this information also. Like Pharaoh did this to suppress our numbers. It's no different than what they do to us now. They oppress us to try to suppress our numbers. And how do they do these things to oppress us? You got your abortion clinics, you got drugs, you got the prison pipeline, you got homosexuality, you got all of these, you got the alternative lifestyle, which is also destroying our men and our women. How can you create if nobody wants to procreate?
Right.
By nature, 2 women can't have children. By nature, 2 men cannot have children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not possible. That's just nature. You can go ahead out.
Okay. Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful, increased above already. That's like.
Now you can read it again. So like,
Okay. Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Verse 8, and now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Verse 9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Verse 10, and come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it might come to pass that there shall follow out of any war they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
Right. So the Pharaoh was afraid of us becoming an enemy to the land of Egypt. Like if any type of war broke out, maybe these Israelites might go against us.
Right.
And that's what they're afraid of now here in America. They're afraid of you coming back and learning who you are because they think that we might go to war with them. We're not going to go to war with you. The Lord is going to go to war with you.
Right.
We're not going to pick up a gun. We're not going to do anything but pick up the Bible and crush this kingdom. And that's what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is doing underneath Commander General Yohana. We're crushing America by waking our brothers and sisters up, by getting them off drugs. We don't have to pick up guns. We're not the Black Party movement. We don't have to go out here and do that. We're not like your fake Israelite groups who sit around and talk horrible about our people. We actually fix our people, man.
Right.
I seen a fake Israelite group telling the sister, it stinks, it stinks, it stinks. Not even knowing what the sister might have gone through. You know what I'm saying? You probably could have pulled the sister to the side. You probably could have gained the sister.
Right.
The sister's dressing like a whore for a reason. She's looking for attention for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Don't shame the sister. Pull the sister to the side, man, to find out, sis, what's going on? Why you feel like you must dress like this? Even if she has an attitude, you still can gain that sister, man. In the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge, man, we've got sisters off stripper poles, man.
Right.
We got sisters away from prostitution. We got sisters away from whoring and drug abuse. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit around and tell you it stinks, it stinks, it stinks. Hey, she might know it stinks. She probably know it does. And she's trying to run away from that. She might have something that's bothering her insides. You know what I'm saying? She might have a venereal disease that she knows about. But rather than sit up there and try to publicly shame the sister, why not go to that sister alone and pull her to the side and be like, hey, sis, let me holler at you. Sis, is everything all right? You know, not trying to be funny, but we can, no. You might want to go get yourself checked, sis, to make sure it ain't nothing serious, because your life is important. You know what I'm saying? You could gain a sister by that, man. Not by publicly shaming her in front of everybody. And now she's on the internet twerking because she's dealing with some type of pain. And since y'all are not the true priests and prophets of the Lord, you don't know how to fix the sister. Right. The only thing you know how to do is destroy. That's what you fake Israelite groups are doing out here, man. Y'all up here destroying and dividing the people of Israel, man. You can go ahead out. Select it.
Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities of Pithom and Ramses.
Right. So it's no different than now. Our people was in slavery and we built treasure cities. Right. Like we built, just like how we built New York, California. Who do you think built California? You think the Caucasians really came over there and built California? We built California. We built New York City. We built these places, just like Greenville. Who built Greenville? Who built these great cities that they have now? Atlanta, Georgia, right now. Who built Atlanta, Georgia? Black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are what makes America flourish. And even back in the time of Egypt, we were the people that made that land flourish. We helped these different kingdoms become glorious. No different than when we was in the land of Rome, when we went into captivity and underneath the Romans and the Greeks. We made these lands great. We are what made America great. When Trump says make America great again, he means put blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians back underneath the boot. Right. So we can make this land great. Because you think about how great America was when we was in chains, man. Free labor. Right. Free labor. I'm talking about 400 years. I'm just going to go lowball. 300 years of free labor is the reason why America is the way it is right now. So when you have some oppressor telling you that you need to stop relying on the past and let the past be the past and move forward, the audacity of these bastards, man. How can you tell us to move forward when the reason we're even moving forward is because our people been held back? Like the reason why you are so great right now is because our people gave you 300 years plus of free labor. And even the jobs that we have now, we're not even getting paid the right money. We're still getting paid low amounts of money. We still have taskmasters over us, man. We're still being afflicted and destroyed in this land, man. It's no different than what our forefathers went in the land of Egypt, man. Right. We build these cities up and we receive nothing. You go into your job. Who work at most of these jobs? Who work at the hotels, cleaning the bathrooms, man, cleaning the hotels? Black and brown people, man. Right. And our people got to understand, like, we don't need to have time. We don't need to be hating each other, man. Right. We don't need to be hating each other at these slaveries, man. We got to realize that we have one oppressor that is over all of us, man. They oppress us all, but they play and manipulate us so much. They have us fighting with each other, arguing with each other. And you're going to read in these scriptures and you're going to find out, man. You're going to find out that this was happening back in the land of Egypt as well. You can go ahead, Art. So like
verse 12. But the more they afflict them, the more they multiply and grow. And they were aggrieved because of the children of Israel.
Right. So it's no different than now. Just like how we are in the land of America, the more that they oppress us, the more children that we have. That's why they have Planned Parenthood.
Yep.
That's why they have Planned Parenthood, because they know, just like how we was in the land of Egypt, we were being oppressed, but somehow we knew how to, have sexual relationships with each other. We did that real good, and guess what? We began to flourish more, even in the time of our captivity. It's no different than now. Like, what do they say about them sisters? Why she having all them kids and she can't even take care of the ones she got? It's no different than what our ancestors did in the land of Egypt.
Right.
We were poor, but we flourished as a nation of people. And that scares our oppressors, because guess what they out here doing? The oppressors in the land of America, they out here having 2 kids and getting a vasectomy. They out here, so like it's a sister though. They out here having 2 children and getting a vasectomy. That's what they out here doing. You know what I'm saying? Out here doing that and getting rid of their seed, having daughters and 1 son. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, sis. So you got to understand something. What we went through in the land of Egypt is no different than what we're going through now, man. We're going through the same thing. The same thing that our ancestors went through, man, we're going through right now, man. You wonder why you keep having all them kids? Because we're poor, man.
Right.
And that's one great thing the Israelites know how to do. They know how to reproduce very well. Go talk to some of them Ephraimites, man. Ephraim be having 10, 15 kids, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Myself included. I have a lot of children. You know what I'm saying? Even though we poor, we still have children, man.
Right.
You can go ahead, Art.
Oh, God. Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
What does that word rigor mean? Somebody look that word up.
It's rigors.
It's R-I-G-O-U-R. Sheesh, kind of close to something else.
I got it, sir.
All right, you got it.
This is the definition of rigor: the quality of being extremely through the quality of being extremely through exhaustive or accelerate severely strictness or demanding difficult or extreme conditions.
So this is what the Egyptians did to us, man. They were strict on our people, man. They made us serve, meaning they turned us into servants. And while we were doing servitor work for these people, they had us exhausted, man. They had us exhausted. They were strict, you know what I'm saying? And they were demanding underneath difficult conditions. Isn't that how we live right now? They are so demanding underneath difficult conditions. You have brothers and sisters working at these slaughterhouses, man, and they're making us work in difficult conditions, man. You got our Issacharite brothers doing roofing and putting up these houses in difficult conditions. It's cold out there. It's extremely hot. The summertime is finna come up, and you know how this weather is in the summertime. And they have us out there doing all of this work in this extreme heat, extreme cold. You know what I'm saying? I was watching videos last year of Issachar passing out, man, having heat strokes. Brothers had to pour cold water on our people, on our brothers' backs, man, to try to get them to recuperate themselves, man. That's how these oppressors are to us, man. And you see how they talk to our Issacharite brothers on these job sites, man. It is truly disgusting, man. They try to treat our brothers as if they're animals. But it's kind of at a point right now where this empire is falling so bad that they need our brothers and sisters. So now they try to lighten up a little bit. Right. Try to lighten up a little bit. You gonna read it? All right, you go ahead.
Exodus 1:14. And they made their lives with hard bondage in mortar and in brick,
and all manner of service in the field.
Right. They made our lives bitter, man. They made our lives bitter with hard slavery, man. With hard slavery. No different than what our brothers and sisters were doing when we first came to America. You know, we had who built you? Do y'all even know who built the White House? Black people, black and brown people built the White House, man. We had to do servile work by building up that empire, and we had to do all type of servile work in the fields, picking corn, picking grain, doing all of these different things in the land of Egypt. And it's no different than what happened to our people in the land of America. You know, you had black and brown people, man, doing all type of servile work underneath extreme conditions, man. You know, you look at how they did our brothers and sisters in the land when we was in slavery in America. It was horrific. It was horrific seeing a lot of those pictures that they had of the small children, 2 years old, picking cotton, man. Right. 1 year old picking cotton, just learning how to walk with a basket around their neck, picking cotton at 1 year old, man. And you mean to tell me that this isn't the land of Egypt again? You mean to tell me this isn't the land of captivity all over again? And this is the reason why they want you to forget about slavery, because it ties directly in with how slavery was for us in the land of Egypt. As a matter of fact, we got a book, an amazing book that the school likes to provide for our people. It's called The Black Image and the White Mind. And this is a 100-year study that they did on black people, man. This is a 100-year study that they did, and this is what it reads. This is a good book. If you got the money, man, go get this book. It's called The Black Image and the White Mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is page 74. All right, this is The Black Image of the White Mind, page 74. At the bottom, it says the originator of the new scientific ethology was Dr. Samuel George Morton of Philadelphia, who published a book in 1839 that promised to bring an end to loose speculations about racial origins and differences by opening up an era of hard-headed empiricism. Morton's Crania Americana was the result of years of collecting and examining human skulls as he gathered and studied the crania of different types of men. Morton became aware of the differences between white, Indian, and Negro skulls, and of the fact that the ancient crania from a given race did not seem to differ from those of their modern descendants. So this is Dr. Samuel Morton. He wrote a book in 1839. This is another great book to go find also. This book is called This book is called Crania Americana, written by Dr. Samuel George Morton of Philadelphia. Right. This is another good book you can get also. It's called The Cranial Americanas. And it was years of him collecting skulls and doing studies on these skulls that he found. And what he found out was that these skulls were no different than those skulls of their ancestors, of their descendants. So everything matched up with these skulls. And this is what he came up with when he did his conclusion on this. It says, Morton concluded that races had always had the same physical characteristics. And that is a heavy fact. Right. That is a heavy fact, what he said about the skulls. He said that these races had always had the same physical characteristics, meaning nothing changed about these people. Nothing changed about these people. Right. The same characteristics that they had back in ancient times are the same characteristics that they have today. So what is that saying? What is that saying? That's saying that if the children of Israel were black and brown people and they had the same physical characteristics back then, that they would have the same physical characteristics today. Right. So that's a cut to those people who proclaim to be us in our land right now. The characteristics about those people would not change. That's why the president of Egypt in 1942, is it 1942 or 1924, is one of those years. He said, how could the children of Israel leave black and come back white? Because those people over there know who we are. They know who we are. They know we are the children of Israel. Those people living in the land of Egypt, they seen the hieroglyphs. They know that was our people that were in slavery in the land of Egypt. And they always have known this. All right, I'm gonna keep reading. It's like this out of the book of the Black Image of the White Mind, page 74. It says, Morton became aware of the differences between white, Indian, and Negro skulls, and of the fact that ancient crania from a given race did not seem to differ from those of their modern descendants. Morton concluded, Morton concluded that races had always had the same physical characteristics, and by implication, the same mental qualities. It says, in the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glidden, an Egyptologist who provided him with mummy heads and information about the racial significance of the Egyptian tombs and inscriptions. In Cranial Egyptica, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes.
Right.
So they found out that even though the Egyptians were dark-skinned people, and you can find that out in the Zondervan Compact Dictionary. You go get yourself a copy of this book right here. Go get yourself a copy of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Go get yourself a copy of this and look up Ham. And it shows you that Ham was the forefather of the dark-skinned nations, but not Negroes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they knew this back in 1844. It's like, you got to see this.
That's why Africans are different from us.
That's exactly why Africans are different from us. They don't even like us. They don't even like us at all. They hate to see us, but we hate to smell them.
Yes.
I could care less about seeing you, but that smell is diabolical. That is a smell from the dark side. Your nostrils have to be a different level of sheesh. So, like, you go ahead, sis.
I know an Israelite sister. Well, she wasn't in the school or anything, but she's still an Israelite.
Right.
She married an African, and they literally got divorced because she couldn't take the smell of food and the different smells.
It's like, get in sister hair. The smell was so bad from Ham, it caused a divorce. Good night. Most people divorce from other things. You got it in there.
I work with a ham sandwich, and when he walk in my office, it smell diabolical in there.
Good night. Do you know how? Like I thought Elam was bad. Elam is the so-called. I mean, they bad too though.
Right.
I don't know who's worse, Elam or Ham.
I think Elon don't like to put on deodorant. It just smell like onions.
Yeah. Elon doesn't believe in deodorant. And listen, when you get time, go look at some of them food videos of them cooking over there with the guy slapping the patty underneath his arm and throwing it on there and frying it.
Getting the sauce on.
It's like they call it goop scoop.
Brother did call it goop scoop. It's like, you go ahead, sis. Elam would be like your East Indians, your people over there, and your people over there, like in, I want to say, I know all of India.
Right.
It's different ones too, because a lot of them Pakistani, and also you got a border between Pakistan and India, but those people in India, they make up so-called Elam, and even them amongst themselves, they have different tribes amongst themselves. But Elam makes up most of your East Indians. You know what I'm saying? Your people even a lot of the people that run a lot of your 7-Elevens over here and everything like that. That's another one. But I think Ham has everybody beat. That smell is diabolical. So like, let me get back to this. Like, get that sister hand. I understand that divorce for that smell. Like I said, your nostrils have to be on a different type of level to endure that type of suffering and pain. You know, just prepare to have many nosebleeds and no nose hair once you marry a Hamite. Good night. Imagine marrying a Hamite woman. Good night. Good night. Just like you. All right, I'm gonna go back. This is page 75 of the Black Image of the White Man. The white mind. It says the racial significance of Egyptian tombs and inscription. In Crania Egyptica, published in 1844, and Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes, as abolitionists and colonists had maintained, and that in fact, listen to what I'm saying, that in fact, blacks had been regulated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. So that slavery position that we were in the land of Egypt, it happened to us again in the land of America. You know, this is why these schools do not want books like this to be read. They don't want you to read these books. That's why when you get out of high school and college, you got to read these books on your own. In this school, the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge, we provide our people with this information so they can realize who we are. And then you can put this together and you can tie it in together and see how our people were in slavery in the land of Egypt and how it ties in with our slavery in America. It's the same thing. It's identical. The same thing that we were going in the land of Egypt, we are going through in America. And the scripture says that about America. It says that Babylon is this, Salaki, what does that scripture say? It says about the land of Egypt, you know, our bodies should lay in the streets of the great city, you know, Babylon and Egypt, you know what I'm saying? And that's what America is. It's a land of confusion and slavery, because Babylon means confusion and Egypt means bondage. So right now we are in the land of confusion and slavery. And that's what we're living in right now. Your life is full of confusion and slavery. You are a confused slave in the land of America right now. No different than how we were in the land of Egypt. Egypt had homosexuality. They had drugs. They had gangs. They had police. They had the same exact thing. And it was no different than how America is right now. Like, we are a bunch of confused slaves. And the only way you can wake up from that confusion and come out of that slavery is to come inside of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. That's right. That's the only way. Listen, we're getting brothers and sisters off of drugs, man. Your church is putting you on drugs. You're getting put on drugs because you're getting treated horrible inside their church. You leave from church every Sunday. The first thing you want to go do is roll you a blunt. You get out of church. I seen a sister, man. Listen, man. I seen a sister in QT with the church clothes on buying a pack of cigars. Let me get the backwoods. I was like, damn, sis, you couldn't change clothes first? Sister left out dressed up from church, went and got in the car. I said she about to roll a fat, what are they calling them? Backwood. About to stuff the backwoods. Because the church ain't teaching them nothing. As soon as you leave out of church, you come right back to oppression. Right. And here we know that we are oppressed, and you learn how to fight with the oppression. You can go ahead out to that scripture, but Salaki, that book is a great book to read. If you ever had the time and the money, man, purchase that book. That is The Black Image and the White Mind, man. The price might have went up on it, but that is a great book to read, man. You can go ahead out on the scripture, Salaki. I think we was at 14.
Verse 14. And they made their lives bitter.
They did what?
And they made their lives bitter.
How did they make our lives bitter?
With oppression. Slavery.
God.
Good night.
That's today. Your life is. Listen, your life is bitter, man. Slavery. Listen, we already enslaved. And think about that, man. You a slave in America. You got probation. You got child support. Like, those things are one and the same, man. You got brothers that are on. I think child support probably is worse than probation. Yeah. Probation is what? Maybe 5 years. You might get a certain amount of time. You go ahead, sis.
And some brothers putting sisters on child support.
I've seen that. I just read an article now. I think Captain Kahan shared it. But it was a sister who left her 8-year-old and 6-year-old in the house while she went on a cruise. Oh my gosh. The sister went on a cruise. Y'all looking just like how I was when I read. I said, what? You went on a cruise while you left your children in the house? because that's the life we live in here. Like our brothers and sisters want to have fun because we are oppressed, man. I get it. I understand, but that's how much we have been destroyed, man. You know what I'm saying? We have been destroyed so bad in this land that our people, they just want to have fun and forget about the pain that they're enduring, man. They want to forget about that pain. That's the reason why the sister did it, man. She's a confused servant in this land of America. The sister left her 8 and 6-year-old child in the house while she went on a 5-day cruise. Well, Salaki, I get it. I understand the reason why she did it. Okay. I understand, sis, but it's like when you like being a priest and prophet, we understand the mental illness that our people have, man. We understand how destroyed we are. You know, we have been raised by children. Like our oppressor, he's a child. He's a child. He's a grown child. That's why when we do things better than him, it's not good enough for him. Like we become good at a sport, they still hate you. I think Cap said it. Cap said you are a sore winner. Like you won, you beat us. I think it was Jonah Muhammad said that. Like you won, you beat us. Like we've been in slavery for hundreds of years. Like y'all own America. Like damn, y'all still gotta kill us. Y'all still gotta murder us. Y'all still gotta do all of these things to us. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all won already. Look at it. Like y'all won already, man. And we still get crushed underneath you. It's still not good enough for y'all. It's still not good enough for us. You can go ahead out.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field, in all their service, wherewith they made them serve with rigor.
Yeah, and guess what that means? That means you worked in all type of conditions. You worked when it was raining. You worked whenever. It could be. You think about how hot the land of Egypt is. We still had to work. We still had to work. Yeah. You can go ahead out.
Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives.
To the who?
To the Hebrew midwives.
Right, because we had our own women that it's no different than how we were right now. You know, you had black doctors, black dentists, you had all these different things. We had Hebrew midwives, meaning that these midwives only dealt with Hebrews. That's just like what do they call it? Oh, you got the all black midwives, the all black. This was no different than how it was in the land of Egypt. It was the same thing. Because the Egyptians thought it was an abomination for them to be around us. Right. And that's no different than how these oppressors were with us during the time of when we was what's the word I'm looking for? When we were segregated. Right. When segregation was around, it was an abomination for us to be around these so-called oppressors. And so that's why you had black dentists, you had brown dentists, you had black midwives, you had all these black restaurants, which Martin Luther King destroyed by telling us to join these oppressors. But back during this time, the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives. You can go ahead.
Of which the name of the one was Shipporah, and the name of the other is Puah. Verse 16. And he said, when he do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman.
So and Salaki, what is a office of a midwife to the Hebrew women? What does that mean? Meaning this is her job. What is the job of a midwife? Doing what, sis? Like get a sister in hand. She's right. This is the job of a midwife. Her job was to deliver these Hebrew babies. You can go ahead out.
Okay, and verse 16, and he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then he shall kill him.
They should do what?
If it be a son, then he shall kill him.
What is that called today? What is it called today when you kill a baby? What is it called?
Abortion.
That's called abortion. guess what? In Egypt, they were having abortions also.
Right.
But it was only to the male children of our people. Because they knew that if you perceive by having sons, this is how you reproduce. And this is for all you so-called scholars out there who think a woman can produce life. It takes the man. The man has the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. So he dictates if he has a daughter or a son. But all that comes from the Lord. The Lord is the one who allows you to have, a son or a daughter. But the Lord put that inside of a man to enable him to be able to do that. And the Egyptians even knew that. They knew that life started inside of a man. The woman carries that seed. It's just like a garden. You plant the seeds and the earth produces a fruit. Right. It's no different than now. The man carries the seed. The woman carries that seed. Well, the man has the seed. He plants that seed inside of a woman, and then she produces life. Right. She produces his fruit. You know what I'm saying? What do men call their seeds? What do they call their son? Hey, yo, that's my seed right there. Right. That's my son. That's my seed right there. Because that's who you come from. You come from your father. And even that's still something now in the land of Israel. That's what the children of Israel do right now. Your lineage is determined by your father. But you go to the Jewish man, his lineage is declared by his mother, which is beyond weird to me. You what? So your mother dictates your lineage. Okay. All right. It's like you go ahead up.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
And think about that. Think about how heavy that is. The Egyptians were disgusting by killing our sons, but they would at least let our daughters live. But these oppressors in America, they kill whatever. They kill whatever. I got some pictures. I listened to I had went and looked at on YouTube. I think it was back in March. They had they were coming against those abortion clinics, and they were taking those abortion clinics to court, because you got to remember back in 2015, there were people who they had secretly recorded the abortion clinics describing on what they do to those fetuses that they murder and kill, because abortions are murder. Those children are alive. Right. You know what I'm saying? Those children are alive. Don't let these people lie to you and tell you an abortion isn't murder. Don't let these people tell you your body, your choice. Okay, but you are a murderer. You're an unaliver. Salaki, you are an unaliver. You're a professional unaliver. And there's some sisters out here who did a lot of unaliving with these babies, man. You know what I'm saying? These people were talking about what these people at these abortion clinics were doing to these children, man. I'm talking about they had a picture. I got the picture in my phone, and I only looked at it once, and I can't even look at it anymore. But it is literally a baby who is 7 months old. Maybe like the baby looked like it was in his last trimester, and the woman had the baby, and they allowed the baby to be killed. And how they killed the baby was they sucked the baby's brain out the skull. So you can still see the eyes on the baby, and they sucked that brain out of the baby. And the baby is big enough to where they can hold it in their arm like this. Like how Cap holding Mathan, the baby was bigger than Mathan in this picture. And they sucked the brain out, and the baby head went flat, but you can still see the eyes, meaning the baby was alive when they did this. The baby was alive when they did this to this child. But you want to love America. You want to love this land. You want to love these people. You want to hug these people. You want to love your pastor. Don't you know a lot of these pastors get funded by the abortion clinics? They get funded by these abortion clinics. Like they did this to this child, man. And it wasn't just this child. They said upon them stumbling these abortion clinics, they said it was I think he was an Ephraimite brother. I think he was a Puerto Rican brother. He was coming outside the abortion clinic, and he had boxes. And the people who were going against the abortion clinic stopped him. They said, "Listen, can we see what's inside them boxes?" And he said he felt so guilty that he let them look inside the boxes. And they said that they found corpses of aborted babies inside of all of these boxes that were taken to go get rid of. And they said that they so diabolical with it in the abortion clinics that they take the skulls of aborted fetuses. They take the top skull of aborted fetuses and they put them on top of lab racks and do tests and studies with them. Like, that's what they're doing with your children, man. That's what they're doing with our aborted babies, man. That's what they doing. And then they're selling the body parts, selling the livers, selling the kidneys, doing all type of that stem cell research that they talk about. All of that is funded by the abortion clinics, man. All that stem cell research, because they said stem cell research is so popular right now. They're able to take the stem cells from the aborted babies and give them to adults, and that's how they're able to heal certain parts of their bodies, like when they tear a ligament. So, you go ahead, sis.
I have a personal story about that.
Kind of.
2022. Well, before that, when I was in college, junior year, I got pushed out of a car going 30 miles an hour. I had to have 2 back surgeries and knee surgeries.
Kind of.
Well, it never went away, the pain and stuff. So
Right.
I went to 2 stem cell clinics.
Right.
One stem cell clinic said that they could order the stem cells. And I was like, well, where they gonna come from? And it was like, no, just, beating around the bush. But they said they'll come to us in like a sealed something, like
Right.
where couldn't anything mess it up or whatever. Then I went to another one, and that's the one I ended up going to, but they actually got the stem cells out of me. But at the other one, they was gonna literally order it.
Where they ordered them stem cells.
Right. I don't know where they ordered it from or what, but they was gonna order it, and I feel like the Most High was telling me it's a baby.
Hey, listen, don't be surprised, man. We dealing with the most subtle beast of the field, man. Like this person that rules over us in this land right here is a beast. You know what I'm saying? This is a beast, and when you serve this beast in this land, you have took up the mark of the beast, man. Like these people are way worse than the Egyptians were. The Egyptians were horrible to us, but these people in this land, listen, like it is diabolical, man. Like that story about that abortion clinic, and it made me reference how life was in Egypt. It was truly horrific, man. Right. It was truly horrific. And you think about this is in a time in Egypt where you didn't have all of this technology like you do now. So they were taking our sons, man, and killing our sons, murdering all our sons. You can go ahead, Ox. Like that was it, sis?
I didn't take the one that they ordered. I let them get it out of my
right. Damn right. It's just a hand, man. It's just a hand, man. So like you can go ahead, Ox. I think we at 17.
Verse 17. But the midwives feared God.
They did what?
But the midwives feared God.
Right. These were Hebrew women, and they feared the Most High. Go ahead.
And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive.
Yeah, them sisters a hand, man. Them sisters did something. You don't always have to say yes, man. And that's a lesson to let that be a lesson to our sisters, man. This land might tell you that you can do all of these different things. They might tell you that you can abort your baby and kill your baby, but you don't have to listen to the king of Egypt, man. You don't have to listen to the president of America when he tells you that it's lawful for you to murder your baby. Fear the Lord and don't do it. You can go ahead, Op.
Verse 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing? And ye saved the men children alive.
Right. And the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, wanted to know, why are you allowing these men children to live? Go ahead.
Well, verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
Read that again.
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
That's no different than today. You sisters out here, you are different than these heathens over here, man. Can't nobody produce these beautiful children like you can, man. These devils over here, these oppressors over here, some of them only having 2 and 3 kids, man. And that's all their body can handle. 2 measly children. Legs fragile, body fragile. Oh, well, if you have any more children, Stacy, you might can die. But you got our sisters out here pumping out. Like, damn, that's how many kids she had off that clip? 6. 6 beautiful babies, 7 babies, 8 babies, 9 babies.
Right.
This is why they hate y'all, man, because our women are not the same. And just like during the time of Egypt, our women were not the same as the Egyptian women. You can go ahead up.
Okay, verse 20. Therefore, God dealt therefore God dealt well with the midwives.
So like you gotta read 19 again. So like
and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, but they are lively, and are delivered. Our midwives come in as like, and they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Meaning, by the time the midwives get to them, they already don't have the babies. So what Pharaoh wanted these women to do was, while she's giving birth, they wanted them to kill the baby while giving birth. If it's a man child, kill the baby during birth. Because by the time the midwives got to him, guess what? They already don't have the baby. What you want us to do? Kill the baby while she got the baby in her arms? You are not going to do that. That's why Pharaoh asked them. He said, why are y'all letting all these men, children live? And they told him, they said, listen, by the time we get there, they already don't have the baby. They ain't like you, these stinking Hamites, who got to push and struggle. Oh, I can't have the baby. They're not like that. These sisters are just, the baby's out. By the time we get there, the baby already out. The baby right there. Looking up, mama, dad. Damn, how old this baby is. Baby's in full salute. As soon as the baby come out, shalom. Son come out, he in full salute. Mitri on his head already. Little baby. You know what I'm saying? But that's what that's what Pharaoh wanted them to do. Pharaoh wanted them to kill them babies while the women were giving birth.
Right.
That's what they do now. But the oppressor today, he's worse. He's killing the baby in the womb.
Right.
He's killing the baby while the baby is, he's not even giving you time to push the baby out.
Right.
He's killing the baby while the baby is inside of your stomach. And how do they do it? Take the scissors, slide it up inside you, cut the baby's head off. And then they pull pieces and pieces and pieces of your baby out of you. And you think a sister's gonna be normal after that? You wonder why a lot of these sisters are walking around here damaged. Oh, they toxic. Oh man, she a hoe. Look, can you imagine some family member? Listen, it's sisters that were 14 and 15 who have been taken to the abortion clinic by their parents. By their parents. By the people that say they're here to protect you. Take you to the abortion clinic and make you commit genocide. And you think that child is normal. Come on, listen, I know personally. I have been through it personally. It happened to me personally when I was a young teenager. The sister got taken to the abortion clinic by her parents, and I seen how it destroyed her. I didn't understand it, but when I came into the truth, I understood how it destroyed her mental. I destroyed her mind. Like her family thought she went off the deep end. Like her family still blamed her for the reason why she was. Like they was, oh, she ain't nothing but a so-and-so. She ain't gonna be nothing but herself. Look at her. She out of control. She this and that. Listen, you made this child commit genocide. And she doesn't know how to deal with it. She doesn't. What are y'all explaining to? What are y'all giving her to church?
Right.
You give her to church. Pastor don't give a damn about that. He just wants your money. Oh, baby girl, listen, right. The Lord knows your heart. Listen, this girl just committed genocide. She doesn't know what to do. You don't think that affects that young man either? You don't think that young boy who is in love with this girl at a young age, and this is why it's so important for the ISUPK, man, to be in every black and brown household, man. Because we teach our children that sex is marriage.
That's right.
You teach them at a young age that sex is marriage. And if a young man has sex with a woman, you can't leave her, man. She's yours. But it's also important to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, because there's also like a system that is established by us that you're supposed to go to the Father first and talk to him and get that, you know, to get that righteous blessing for him in order for you to marry his daughter. But now everything is done in secret. So you got these young children having sex, committing homosexual acts among each other. So now these young girls are having sex in the dark, and what comes to light is a pregnant teenager girl, and you're forcing her to have an abortion. And these young children might be in love. Like, how about what if you took those young children and told them, hey, listen, now y'all together. Young man, you can't leave her. Baby girl, you can't leave him. And I don't like this. I hate this. But listen, young man, I'm gonna raise you like my own son. And you're gonna stay with me. You're gonna be here with me. Hey, listen, this is what you're gonna do. We're gonna do this together. We don't have time for games. Like, you about to be a father, and you need to be here and learn how to raise these children. You're gonna come to the school. You know what I'm saying? Think about the difference that would make. You would force that young man, that young boy, that young teenager to become a man, and he would learn and develop how to have respect for you, and not just respect for you, but for your daughter and for that child. And you would produce a family. That's what you would do, not by telling her to leave that young man. Oh, you can't be with him no more. You go ahead now.
It's like that. Huh. Also, I feel like abortion also it gives people an excuse to not be accountable for their actions.
Get that brother a hand, man. Get that brother a hand.
I just feel like nobody wants to take the blame for knowing what comes out of sex. You know that if you have unprotected sex, you know that this can come either a baby or a disease.
Right.
So then when it happens to you, you surprised and you want to point the finger. Well, you need to look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable.
Right. That accountable is kryptonite to a lot of people these days. Like, nobody wants to be held accountable. But here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you are held accountable for all of your actions. And that's the first process of changing who you are, is to sit down, look in the mirror, and hold yourself accountable for your actions. And to be like, okay, yeah, I did do this. I did do that. I did do that. But now let me change who I am. Let me become a better person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this land produces. This land doesn't hold anybody accountable for any of their actions. Well, not for any actions that you do amongst yourself, like when it comes to abortions and everything. But when you commit crimes, trust and believe you will be held accountable if you are black and brown. But this oppressor, the reason why we have not learned accountability is because our oppressors have taught us not to be accountable. Because what do they do today? When we talk about slavery, that was in the past. That has nothing to do with me. So they don't want to be accountable. So we look at it the same way. Well, listen, if they don't have to be accountable for that, I don't have to be accountable for this. Exactly. I can do this and do that. Like, everything that we learn comes from these oppressions. All of these sinners, all these things that we do to each other, drug dealing, prostitution, being in the abortion clinic, marriages breaking up and everything. We learned that from our oppressors. You can go ahead.
Right. And that's heavy that you said that, because why can't the brother not be held accountable for not wanting to be paying child support? Oh, oops, I slipped and fell this spot, and I had a baby. I'm sorry.
Hey, that black man and brown man, you gonna be held accountable.
All right.
They gonna hold you accountable. We got any questions online, Akasa? Like it.
No.
They gonna hold you accountable if you're a black or brown man. You better believe it. You go out there and have that baby. I seen one sister, man. It broke my heart to see it. It was the day I was looking at the story, and the brother, and they both was kind of out of pocket, but I understand they both are brothers and sisters who are destroyed in the world. But the brother came to get his son. He said, yo, I just want to see my son. She was like, you ain't seen him in a year. But you can obviously tell that the sister has been keeping his son away from him. Because when the boy seen his daddy, he came up to his daddy. He hugged his daddy. He said, what's up, son? I love you, man. The boy is happy to see his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Then you hear the mom in the background. What you doing over here? Get away from here. He was like, man, I just want to take my son to go do this and do that. And then the little boy, he had to be about 6 years old, man. And it broke my heart because his voice was the same as my son. Like an innocent child. The boy said, Daddy, come on, Dad, let's go. Because I don't want you to go to jail. He's 6 years old, man. He's 6 years old. What does he need to know about his father going to jail? What does a 6-year-old need to know about his father going to jail? Giving his father advice, hey, come on, Dad, let's go, because I don't want you to go to jail. A 6-year-old? A 6-year-old. And then he busts out crying. And it crushed my soul just to hear him crying, because this is a child who loves his father, no matter what him and his mother has went through. This child loves his father and he loves his mother, but he's confused. He's confused. But he doesn't want his father to go to jail, though. Like, you go ahead, sis.
I honestly think that Black people shouldn't even put the person in between when they have children.
Damn right. Get sis a hand, man. That is a righteous thing for a sister to say, man. Yeah, that's sister.
White people in between stuff, because all they're gonna do is make stuff about a million times worse.
Right. That is heavy. The sister said, how about what Black and brown people do is stop going to these oppressors and allow them to dictate what goes on when it comes to our children. We should deal with it ourselves and get counsel. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do in the ISUPK. Sister can't put no brother on child support in here. And the brother damn sure can't abandon his responsibilities when it comes to his rib and his kids, man. Right. You can't run and go hide. That ain't, no, listen, you cannot do that in here. You got a baby, hey, listen, it's your responsibility, y'all. You can go ahead, you can keep reading up. We should be at 20.
Verse 20. Therefore, God dealt with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty.
Right. So now our people are starting to wax mighty. We mean we grew more. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses.
He made them what?
And he made them houses.
What does that mean that he made them houses? It's simple. It's easy. It's very easy. You go ahead, Jeff.
Sort of like hospitals to have babies.
No, lie. It's lie.
It's more spiritual.
It's a metaphor.
Metaphor. Yeah.
Look at it like that. He made them houses.
Oh man, why can't people?
Anybody online participate in anything?
I don't see nothing just yet.
Okay, I give it to you for time's sake. It's no different than the house of Israel. What is the house of Israel? It's a people. So he allowed them to have a family. He allowed them to establish houses. Meaning he allowed them to have a family.
Right. Verse 22. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
So Pharaoh charged his people. I mean, he gave them authority to kill our sons. You think about that. You could imagine, man, how diabolical it was, man. Our women walking with their sons, and you have some stinking Egyptian come up to you and take your child, run away with your child, and throw him in the damn river, man. I guarantee you, if they was to tell the truth, I guarantee there are probably thousands of bones in those rivers over there in the land of Egypt that they won't tell you about. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the day, they were showing the alligators over there. It's no different than how they did us when we came over here in slavery on the boats. What did they do with our body? They threw them in the ocean. They threw them in the ocean. That it was so bad that so many of our bodies got thrown into the ocean that those sharks still swim that path to this day. Those sharks still swim that whole path from Africa to America because of how many bodies got thrown out there over the years. It became like an all-you-can-eat buffet to the sharks. Like you got hundreds and thousands. You got thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon millions of bodies getting thrown out for hundreds of years. Though it became familiar to these sharks to swim this route because of how many bodies got through out here. Like you think about that, man. Like it changed the ecosystem with the goddamn sharks, man. The sharks were coming from different places to feed right here because they knew dead bodies was gonna be here. And it probably was the same thing in Egypt. You probably started having alligators get so bad in that river because they were so used to getting fed. Come. All right. So like it. All right. So like you can go ahead up.
Close it on that other one.
Okay.
That was the last verse.
All right, kind of. Let's try to go to 2.
All right, Exodus chapter 2.
Kind.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to a wife a daughter of Levi. Verse 2. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
Right, because guess what they were doing in the land of Egypt? They were killing our sons.
Right.
Well, so when she had this son, she hid him for 3 months. Go ahead.
Is this Moses that she
Come.
Verse 2.
And Salakia, this is a woman who didn't allow them to abort her baby. Like she hid that baby.
Wasn't this an Egyptian woman though, wasn't it?
Nah, we're gonna read and find. We're gonna try to finish this up so you can get it.
And verse 3.
Now remember what it said. It said a man from the tribe of Levi took a woman from Levi, and they had a son.
And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes. And what did it say? Dub?
That is
Dub.
I'm gonna try to get the definition of some of this stuff.
And dubbed it with slime with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags of the river brinks. Verse 4. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. Verse 5. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she went her maid to fetch it. Verse 6. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And when she had compassion on him, and she said, this is one of the Hebrew children.
She said what?
This is one of the Hebrews' children.
All right, so guess what? This ain't like the what's that movie called? The Prince. It's not like the Prince of Egypt and all that stuff. She didn't know who he was. Moses didn't know who he was. None of that. Listen, Pharaoh's daughter knew that this was a Hebrew child, but she had compassion, something that these oppressors don't have today. I know me and the Shayala was talking today, and he was talking about how these oppressors had 2 Judite babies, and they had their own children, but their children was all at the water park, but they had their daughters dressed with long shirts on and like shorts, but they had our daughters out there in small onesie bikinis, where it was so bad the little girls having to pull it out of their private areas and everything like that. Like that's how they treat our children, man. They don't have any compassion for our children, man. Like you see how they do our children when they adopt our daughters and our sons. Their hairs be like, man, this place has to burn, man. It has to burn. If it wasn't for the UPK, man, I would lose my mind, man. You go ahead, Op.
Verse 7. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women? Then she may nurse the child for thee.
Right. So Moses' sister came to Pharaoh's daughter and said, because she was sitting back and she was watching. And when Pharaoh's daughter got the child outside of the little ark that she made, she walked up and asked her. She was like, do you want me to go get you a Hebrew nurse who can take care of the child? You can go ahead.
Verse 8. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother.
And did what?
It's like, and the maid went and called the child's mother.
So the maid went and got the child's mother. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wagons,
the wages.
Thy wages.
And this is how the Lord was with this child, man. The Lord told her, take this baby, told the mother of this child, take this baby, and I will pay you the wages to take care of this child. Go ahead.
And the woman took the child and nursed it.
And this is her child. Like, she's pretty much getting paid. Pretty much it'll be like receiving government funding, because at this time, this is Pharaoh's daughter. You know, she's the ruler of this empire, and she's receiving funding from her to take care of her child. You know what I'm saying? That'll kind of be like the equivalent of receiving government funding for your child today. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and said, and she said, because I drew him out of the water.
Right. So his mother raised him. So guess what? Moses knew who he was. It ain't like that stupid movie where they act like Moses didn't know who he was. Moses knew exactly who he was. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brother.
Unto who?
Unto his brother.
And who was his brethren? Other Hebrews. He went out unto his brethren. Go ahead.
And looked on their burden.
And he looked on their suffering. Go ahead.
And he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew and one of his brothers.
So Moses went out there and seen an Egyptian killing one of his brothers, man. Seen one of them Egyptians killing one of his brothers. No different than now when you see the police killing your brothers, man. Right. You got to watch it on the news. You got to watch it right there in your face. You got to see these things happen to your brothers. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
He did what?
He slew the Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
And hid him in the sand.
Yeah, Moses caught a body. Moses caught a body. And notice that it didn't say nothing about his brethren who the Egyptian was smiting, because the Egyptian killed him. So he killed this brother. Moses killed the Egyptian. He hid his body in the sand. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, the two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did he said to him that did thee wrong. Therefore smitest thou thy fellow.
Right. So Moses went out. And the first day he went out, he seen police brutality. Second day he went out, he seen black on black crime, brown on brown crime. And Moses walked up and said, hey man, you did that brother wrong. Why you beating on the brother? Let's find out what the brother said. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Damn, this brother talking cash money. He said, well, you gonna who made you a judge? You gonna judge? Don't judge me. Go ahead. Now you right. That's how I
intend this. Thou too kill me, and thou killest the Egyptian.
Right. So now this brother, this is how you know this is Israel, man. Somehow Moses did this, and everybody in the black community already knew Moses caught a body. Right. It got right. This brother out there beating the hell out of another brother. Moses come up to him, hey man, why you doing that brother like that? He said, man, who are you to judge me? What you gonna do? You gonna kill me like you did that Egyptian? Oh, damn.
Everybody, some people ain't hear about it. They going, what?
Moses did what? That nigga Moses caught a body. Everybody out there, oh damn, this nigga Moses. Oh shit. You can imagine the rumors and going around. Damn, this nigga don't did this. You can go ahead. Let's find out what Moses said.
And Moses feared.
Moses knew. Hey, listen, if my people know, everybody about to know. Right. It ain't gonna take too long. Gossip has been a problem in the black and brown community since the time of Moses. You can't hide nothing. Go ahead.
And said,
What did he say?
and Moses feared and said, surely, surely this thing is known.
Moses said, damn, if he know, everybody know. Surely this thing is known. This brother out here beating his other brother, he gonna say something about it. Damn, if he know, I'm pretty sure everybody know. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing,
God damn.
he sought to slay Moses.
Damn, and listen, Moses was right. Pharaoh knew too. Go ahead.
But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Verse 16. And now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock.
Right. So it's 9 o'clock. Salaki about that. I ain't gonna go too much over time, but we're gonna try to pick up on this next week, Lord allow. And we're just gonna dig into the captivity and how we ended up in the land of Egypt, so people can begin to become familiar with the lifestyle that we lived in the land of Egypt and how it is in exact comparison with the land of America that we are in now, man. And we're gonna try to dig into that. You know, it might take a couple weeks, but we're gonna try to dig into it and show you, you know, everything that comes up to the Passover, because we just had the 55th annual Passover.
Right.
You know, the Lord's Passover, not your mama's Passover, not the Eclipse Passover, not your cornbread rice stuffing Passover. Y'all out here having Thanksgiving on your Passover. You know what I'm saying? Not that, but the Lord's Passover. You know, we're trying to show our people, man, how life was in the land of Egypt. You know, we're going to get some more historical facts and show you how life was in the land of Egypt. But with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Nayar.
Get that Priest and Officer in hand.
I'll read the ISUPK security announcements.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Hall, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for a priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the 15th day of the first month for 7 days. It starts Sunday, April 21st until Sunday, April 28th, 2024, sundown. You can find this in Exodus chapter 12, verse 17 through 20, and Leviticus chapter 23, 23, verse 6 through 8. Remind Akim and Akwaf to check the board to bullet ass. Like it. Remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, shalom.